Jag here, 4-string cigar box guitar lesson. The great Janis Joplin and me and Bobby McGhee. I've been busy playing a whole lot of gigs and fixing a lot of stuff. I won't get into all that. But here we go. We're tuned to open G. That's it. A string down to G. A D string tuned normal to D. A G string tuned normal to G. And a B string tuned normal to B. So this is what I call a strummer. Old-fashioned down, up, down, up, down, up. I don't use a pick on cigar box guitars because it's a little bit tricky. I won't get into all that. I use my fingers, my thumb and my finger. It looks like I'm holding a pick, but I'm not. So I use my nail on my first finger and the nail on the thumb sometimes. And if I want to play it kind of soft, I use the tip of my finger. So that's both fingers right there, the thumb and the first finger. Now if I want to get louder, I just do a down strum on my nail, like that. So we're going to start out here playing the open G, and we're going to immediately do a hammer-on to the first finger on the first string, first fret, and second finger is going to be the third string, second fret. That's a suspended chord. So the strum pattern is pretty easy. We'll start out slow. Notice how I'm going. That's a hammer-on. When you play open notes or open chords and then you slam your fingers down to change those notes, it's called a hammer-on. So here's the pattern. Make sure you do a kind of a mellow down up. You don't have to strum every up and every down. I like to do it varied, and that looks like this. I'm strumming a lot of air, which means I'm not hitting the strings at all. It's a very relaxed kind of a strum pattern. Now I'm doing a hammer-on, first finger, as I said, on the first string, and second finger on the third string, second fret. So I start out with the open G, and then I slam down, do a hammer-on, and that is going to be sort of a C chord. It's like a suspended chord. So I'm strumming the chords, and then I'm hammering to reach that second chord. And you can vary it, so I don't do this hammer every time. So I might do it like this. Also, notice how I'm strumming a lot of air. I'm not strumming every single beat. I do a lot of fake strums. I'm strumming air. That kind of relaxes the feel of the tempo. The tempo remains the same, but it sort of relaxes the feel of that sound. It's not really speeding up if I do it the other way, but it's more mellow. So that's your G chord, and it's going to hang there for a bit. Then we're going to bar all the way up here on the 8th fret. So what chord would that be, ladies and gents? Well, open is G, full step above is A, 2 more is B, and then C, and then D. So far we have the G, and that chord right there, which is sort of an A. I like to think of it as an A. It's not technically an A. And then we jump up to a D. Now you can add that other part in it. can do that if you want to. You don't have to. Now we go back down to the G chord. So from the top, it just starts on that G chord. Then you do the suspended. Do all that again. Now we're going to go up here to D. Notice how I'm not doing that on every single chord. It's sort of random. And I'm strumming a lot of air, which means I'm not strumming on every beat. I'm slowing it down so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Second verse, and we're going to do all that we just did all over again. Now at this point it's going to move a full step up and change keys from G to A. So here's the previous chords. We're getting down to that G, and that's where you jump up a full step to A. And I'm just barring all the way across on the second fret. Very simple. Now we're going to move up higher. And that brings us up to the 9th fret. So what chord would that be? Well, the 12th fret we know is going to be a double dot. That's the octave, which means since we're tuned to G, that is a G. G, G. So that means this one is F, and that one's E. And that one will be D. So when we start out, first verse is the same as the intro. Now you don't have to do this hammer to that suspended chord if you don't want to. I like it, so it's up to you. So at this point we're still in A. So I'm kind of going back to where we did a minute ago. And now we're going to move up to, I'm sorry, we were in G, now we're in A. Now we're going to go up to D. Bar all the way across, 9th fret. Now again, I'm doing sort of a random strum pattern. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing it. It's kind of, well, I'm changing it every now and then, so it's not the same thing over and over. I can't stand to do the same rhythm for very long, like not very long at all, like almost nothing. Depends on the song. If it's a slow song, sure, but if it's this one, I can't stand hanging on that chord. Not that she does hang on that chord too long, but some people might do it that way. It's the same rhythm all the time, right? It's right? I don't do it that way. I might do it like this. Notice I'm changing the strum pattern completely. Now, some songs you do have to do the exact same strum pattern as the original. It's hard to describe, you know, I'm picky, so there you go. Anyway, so the first verse is in G. Now we jump up to A. So now we're going to be barring on the 2nd fret. Now we're going to move up. So now we're up here at the 9th fret, which is going to be what? Well, 12th fret's G, so that one is F, so that's E. I'm doing the same strum pattern. Go back down to 2, which is A. And back up again. That's the entire song. It's a nice mellow sort of a song. So how would you play a solo on this? Or some licks? So if we start out in G, I like to do that hammer-on, which I showed you a minute ago. So here's what I like to do. I'm using my pinky on the first string. I'm just kind of doing some random extra notes here. So when we bar up here on the 7th fret, 3 frets up, I'm using my pinky. I'm only barring on with my first finger and only using my pinky. That's all I'm doing. First finger and pinky. The other 2 fingers are just kind of hanging in midair. So that gives you more things happening. Just fills in the sound. So if you're strumming and strumming and strumming and strumming, either change your strum pattern slightly because it gets boring really quick, or throw in a couple of licks. So, for instance, if we're hanging on this chord for a long time, which we are, notice how I'm skipping strums completely. So I'll show you where all the skips are by doing this. Yeah, that's just how I do it. And you can actually see it that way. So whatever works best for you there, but you want to kind of keep it moving. I call it chugga chugga, chugga chugga chugga, but I'm not necessarily chugga chugga chugging on every single beat. So you just kind of make it nice and mellow, especially at the beginning. Now it kind of gets rock and rolly later on. Nice and mellow. Now, by the time you get to the 2nd or 3rd verse, you're going. So it's kind of ratcheting up in intensity a little bit there. But believe it or not, that's the entire song. You're just playing the open chord, the 2nd fret, and you're playing the 7th. If you want to. Remember, that's your octave. So sometimes I might do something like, and that's the 12th fret. That's an octave higher. It's the same chord, bar on the 12th fret, double dot. And you do the good old-fashioned Keith Richards suspended chord. No pinky. Looks like I'm using the pinky. I'm not. So you could do something like this. Use my pinky 3 frets above my first finger. So I'm barring on 7, pinky is on 10. And you can play all those strings. So you can jump between those. It really fills out the sound. It sounds like a piano. Really makes it fatter. So that's the entire song. It's really just those two parts. You're going to start out with the open chords, and then you're going to start barring up here at the second verse when it moves up to the key of A. So you're going to go to second and up there. So have fun with that. Let me know if you have any questions. Please subscribe if you haven't already. You know the drill. Bluesboy Jag Cigar Box Guitars at bluesboyjag.com. 21 years. We'll see you next time.